Lame Truth here, bringing you another video about Military Madden, aka Black Ops 6. I will be using XDefiant gameplay in the background, and this gameplay actually matters. You need to watch it, A, because I pop off, and I do like poning me some noobs without skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, engagement-optimized matchmaking ruining the fun.
My engagement is just so optimized, as the data says. Oh, the data!
We're going to consult the data quite a bit in this particular video. But B, you should watch this gameplay and just compare it to the maps I'm going to show you. This is Rockefeller and XDefiant. We're going to just compare, okay? Compare and contrast with what you're about to see in this video. But yeah, Military Madden, aka Black Ops 6. They released a new blog post today, and they released the rest of the maps they didn't show us in the beta. And good fucking God, we are going to have a field day tearing this game apart because these maps look so fucking bad. I can't believe it. The reason I say this gameplay matters, I want you to pay attention. This is... If this isn't the smallest map, it's the next to smallest map in XDefiant. It's called Rockefeller. It just came out about a month ago. And at first, I was kind of worried about how it would play because it's small. It's a small map for 6v6 modes. But what the developers did, because the developers for XDefiant know how to make maps. You can hate on the game all you want. These are some of the best maps, if not the best maps I have personally ever played on. And I'm not just saying that. Between Rockefeller, Showtime, Arena... maps like that, Noodleplex, Pueblito, I mean, these maps in this game are phenomenal. And I've always said the maps are the foundation of a first-person shooter. If you don't have a solid foundation, your game sucks. Just put it to bed right away. And I'm sad to say that Black Ops 6's foundation is crumbling. It is filled with termites, okay? And as far as putting the game to bed, Black Ops 6 is in a fucking coma in the hospital, like Rick Grimes. Dude, it's bad, guys, okay? I don't know if they consulted the data before making these maps.
Oh, the data shows that people love the small, chaotic maps like they find in Shipment. Oh, the data.
Let's get on into it. Sorry, I can't stop saying the data. They said it so much in the blog post. The data. Hell, drop me the data in the comments section. I want to see it more. Let's all consult the data. The data. Let's make it a catchphrase like Dwayne Johnson. Do you smell what the data's cooking? All right, seriously, I need to stop. I need to get into the actual meat and potatoes here. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's just go over these maps one by one. First and foremost, we have Red Card. Now, Red Card, admittedly, looks pretty good. I'm looking at the mini-map there. It looks medium-sized, maybe a little bit bigger, actually. And aesthetically, it looks nice. It looks like it has some color, some soul. It looks sort of like Encore, I think, from, was that Black Ops 2, the DLC map? So if they're recycling Encore and putting it in the game with, like, a new skin, I'm fine with it. Honestly, we haven't really seen that map in a long time. This map, overall, looks decent. I expect it to be decent. At least better than anything I played in the actual beta sans Skyline. Okay? Next, we have Lowtown. I'm looking at this map, and first and foremost, it looks like you're going to be in the water for the most part. Why they continue to add this weird water play to the game and the maps and the multiplayer, I'll never really know because it just seems kind of like a gimmick, much like Omni Movement's a gimmick. But whatever, dude. Like, this map looks very gray. It looks a little lifeless. It looks like a flooded town or whatever. And in the description there, it even says you can swim in the sewer. That's where this game fucking belongs. But anyway... if we look at the actual mini-map there, this looks pretty small for 6v6, and maybe I'm just blind. Maybe I need to get my eyes checked at the optometrist or something. I need a new prescription, but this doesn't really look like a 3-lane map. Now, I could be misremembering. There's a ton of Call of Duties out there that I've heard so much jargon and bullshit from over the years, but... did they not say the focus would be on competitive 3-lane maps and they wouldn't really deviate from that? I don't see 3 lanes here. This looks like a 2-lane map, and even that's being generous. In fact, I don't even really see a lane at all. It just looks like a bunch of random buildings, and I imagine you can flank through the sewer. So maybe this one will be okay, but first impressions is it looks pretty bad, and it looks pretty gray and weird and soulless as well. Just some random war-torn town seems to be the theme. We don't get anything fun like grind from Black Ops 2 because
The data shows that war-torn, smoky, flooded towns are all the rage with the 60-year-old boomer dads.
all right, let's continue here. Sorry. We got Protocol, which is that stupid training ground from the beta. So we actually did have this in the beta, just not like playable. It's a pretty ugly map. It's rainy, it's gray, it looks like a shitty town in Great Britain. I don't know, it looks a little small too, honestly. It looks maybe a little too small for 6v6. I'm not a huge fan of just the aesthetics of this. It reminds me of that terrible Lighthouse Estate Infinity Ward map. I don't like it. Let's just move on to the next one. This one looks pretty bad. It's probably going to play pretty bad as well. Vault. Vault is a 6v6 core map, and it's pretty tiny. I mean, look at the actual mini-map here. This is small, and forgive me, again, I do see the 3 lanes here, sort of, but why does one area have this, like, giant spawn place, and the other one doesn't? It's just like a little square in the back with one little container there. That doesn't make a lot of sense. In fact, when I look at this map, it almost looks like a Payday 2 like heist location. It doesn't look like a multiplayer map. It looks too small. It's sandy and boring. It reminds me of a boring beach, a very boring beach. I don't really see the appeal here. Clearly it's a bank vault and whatnot. Maybe it looks better inside. Overall, though, looks pretty soulless. Random cars parked out front. Another kind of war-torn just area. I don't know, man. I'm just not really feeling it. It's not really exciting. It lacks color and soul and looks a bit AI generated, if I'm being completely honest. Let's move on to the next one, though. Payback. Payback looks tiny. It's a small map. Small map. There's no lanes. I don't really see any lanes in this diagram here, in this mini map. I'm not seeing lane. I mean, like maybe two. Looks like there's a cliff on the left here. So if I want to jump off and commit suicide to reverse boost, I can do that. That way I can fool the EOMM and get the little Timmy and Billy Goat 57 and Helen Keller 42069's lobby. But aside from that, again, looks very boring. Is this just like a random village? Cliffside Mansion? Explore the oak paneled chambers and operations room in the main residence. How about I explore another map? This looks too small. Looks like, I don't know, looks like they took a state and put it on an even smaller battleground. Not a fan. Looks bad. Looks boring. No color. Ugly. All right. Warhead. this map. Warhead. Looks like a tater. Looks like a fucking tater. The actual map looks like a baked potato I once had, except maybe the baked potato I had was bigger, to be completely honest. I get that this is a 2v2 strike map, so it's 2v2 and 6v6. I understand that. But it's another just kind of random war-torn desert area. It's too small even for 2v2, it looks like. I mean, this looks tiny, dude. This looks very, very small from what I can see. And it looks like there's basically no cover. This looks like it's going to be an absolute disaster. And I'm noticing a pattern. Are you guys noticing a pattern here? I tried to give you the best stuff first. But it actually gets worse. I mean, this at least gets a pass because it's a 2v2 map at its core, okay? So, like, I can kind of let it squeegee on by, but let's continue. We got Subsonic. This is not a 2v2 strike map. This is a 6v6 core map. Is this a map for fucking ants? Why is it so small? I mean, where's the flank? Where are the flanks? Where is anything other than just sheer chaos? This looks like Babylon that they kind of turned the orientation of around and put some like stealth bombers on it. What the fuck is this? Why is everything so tiny? Like, I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Outside of Nuketown and maybe one other smaller map than that, like a sheer chaos map, you don't need maps that size. You just don't. Like, maybe 3 at max. It seems like half the maps in this game are insanely tiny. But wait, there's more. Vorkuta, some snowy, war-torn town. Very, very original. Very original. A snowy, war-torn area. Looks like The Thing, if The Thing, John Carpenter's, sucked dick. Maybe The Thing remake or whatever, where they overdid all the practical effects with CGI. Again, I'm not seeing lanes. Are you guys seeing lanes? Maybe I can kind of make out a lane in the middle there, but it's like the lanes don't work until you're out of the spawn area. And again, this is not a 2v2 strike map. Why is it so small? I just don't understand why these maps are so tiny. They not only look tiny, they look unflankable. It's a flankless piece of shit. In fact, the shape of this map kind of resembles a hand holding a gun, which is maybe what the Treyarch devs experienced while the Activision suits, held them at gunpoint and said, make every map like a bad version of Shipment, a worse version of Shipment, and ship the game. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. That's all the maps, though. Those are all the maps we're getting for Black Ops 6, guys. I want to just kind of segue into this. We're going to show Rockefeller, the overview of Rockefeller. Again, one of the smallest, fastest playing maps in the game. It's a tiny map, but as you can see from Rockefeller here, the darker red part is kind of the main area. This is what I was worried about when I first laid eyes on this map. I'm like, is this middle area just going to be too small? But look at all the cover, all the flanks, all the safe spawn locations outside of the middle. And in the middle there, in the very middle, is Carnage Castle. And Carnage Castle is pretty good cover. Like, you can't see over it. You can't do anything where you're like, getting up on sniper perches and whatnot. Like, it's a pretty solid piece of cover. It's where the B flag is. It's a map that's small but has deceptively large outer areas where you can spawn and flank, and the map plays amazingly. I would go so far as to say it's the best small map I personally have ever played on, maybe since Nuketown. It's up there with Nuketown. It really is that good. If you've played the map, you kind of know. Let's consult Arena as well from XDefiant. Arena is another small map. I'm not sure if it's smaller than Rockefeller, but it's pretty tiny. It's very symmetrical, lots of pieces of cover, lots of ways to, again, kind of flank your opponents, and even in the places where the flank and the spawn outer areas end, you can kind of segue into the main area and still be in cover. Again, Arena plays great. It's a small map that doesn't feel as small as it is until you realize you're constantly in the action, constantly fighting over the B flag on that raised sports ball arena platform. Great map. Again, this is how you do a small map, and the XDefiant devs don't overdo it. There are 2 really small maps in the game, and that's it. People love them, but you have that variety between medium, large, and small, and it keeps things fresh. Let's just compare these 2 maps to stuff like this. I mean, what is this map? I forget what the map's called. I'm just going to call it Tater, because it looks like a baked tater. I get that it's a 2v2 map. I get it, but it's going to be in 6v6. This is embarrassing. This isn't even a map. This is like an AI-generated land or whatever in Tarkov or something. Like, it looks terrible. Then we have, like, this. What's this called again? Vorkuta, which is Russian for a whale's vagina, I'm guessing. I don't really know. But, like, again, this is just too small. And then we have Subsonic. Again, this is a 6v6 map. I don't understand why we need so many small spawn farming maps, but I'm not done. Let's consult the actual blog post here, and I want to read this pretty much verbatim here, okay? Speaking of the spawn system, because they go hand in hand. As a key companion to maps, we want to update you on the spawn system. One of the most important reasons we have a public beta is gathering spawn data from our players. You fuckers have 20 years of spawn data to look back on with this franchise, with Call of Duty. Why do you need a beta to tell you that the spawns are garbage? You had 4 years! 4,000 devs! But let's continue. Now that we have 2 weeks worth of player data, we've already made big strides in dialing in our spawn logic and identifying and resolving issues within the spawn system across the game for launch. This means nothing. It means nothing. Players may have noticed improvements to spawn logic throughout week 2 of the beta. I sure didn't. And as new content comes into the game and we generate even more spawn data, they said it again, take a shot. We're always assessing our spawn system and will continue to make necessary updates to it through launch and beyond, aka 9 months down the line, because then this game gets shelved and we get the next game, which is probably going to be Infinity Ward's mess, but I digress. But we need to consult the performance issues as well from this here blog post. What this means, I have no idea. Does it mean packet burst? Does it mean hitching and rubber banding around with constant packet burst every 20 seconds? I don't know. Our beta was immensely helpful in identifying and resolving some performance-related issues. Again, you guys had 4 years. I don't understand. Over the course of the beta, we identified several areas that were impacting in-game performance. Some areas where we made progress on performance include resolving general script errors, addressing issues related to our in-game user interface, as well as overall improvements and fixes to our asset streaming. I'm hoping that means packet burst, because this game is always online, always streaming textures and data to us. So, I don't know, man. A smooth game performance is paramount to the player experience, and we've been able to chase down sources of in-game hitching and deploy major fixes since the close of the beta. We will continue working with experts across all disciplines to improve. That's a weird sentence. Experts across all disciplines. Are you consulting like the Karate Kid? Are you consulting Mr. Miyagi? How about Rocky Balboa? To improve overall performance for launch and into the live seasons. Words, jargon, bullshit. I ain't buying it. I'm sorry, but I ain't buying it. I'm sorry, guys, but with what I have seen today, this game is DOA. I've been consistent with this over the years. I've said, if the maps suck, the game sucks, as it pertains to first-person shooters. I'm sorry, but it does. You can have the best shooter ever. It does not matter if your map pool consists of maps that you A, can't see on, B, can't spawn on, C, can't flank on, and D, can't think on. That is the entirety of what I have just seen. Yeah, there may be a few decent maps, but I see nothing, and I've played on nothing from the beta that would even come close to being classic. A classic map like we got back in the day with Firing Range and Summit. And again, Firing Range and Summit, as an example from Black Ops 1, are smaller maps. I wouldn't call them small maps. I'd call them small to medium-sized maps. Raid, medium-sized map, for example. Standoff from Black Ops 2, medium-sized map. Slums, small to medium-sized map. I don't understand why they can't take these maps, just reskin them, but look at what made them good, and then actually improve upon that. Again, we are playing military Madden! Just call the game Call of Duty Shoot a Man 19 or whatever, dude, at this point. Who fucking cares? You don't actually look to the past to improve the product. Give me one good reason. This isn't a glazing thing. I'm not being an X-Defiant fanboy. Give me one good reason, and you've seen the gameplay. It's there in front of your fucking face. You've seen the gameplay. Tell me why this game, this brand new IP arena shooter, has better spawns than the past 5 years of Call of Duty. Someone explain it to me. Explain it to me like I'm 5, please. I don't get it. Again, this is the smallest map in the game. Have you guys seen any spawns that would constitute as, like, terrible? Have you seen people spawn with their literal asshole turned up to me like a skunk, and I shoot them in the back and they die? No. I might get one bad spawn out of 100 deaths on this game. If that, honestly. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know what they did for the past 4 years. And keep in mind, we covered this in yesterday's video, they have stolen maps from Sledgehammer Games. Those might be the only decent maps we actually get. Someone pointed out when they were revealing the maps on the Treyarch blog or whatever, that some of the map outlines had like Modern Warfare 3, the red over the map outline. So are those the maps that Treyarch have stolen, or are they just lazy and reusing assets, or all of the above? It remains to be seen. However, what we do know is that Treyarch are verified taking Sledgehammer's maps because Activision didn't want Sledgehammer Games making more maps than Treyarch and like Infinity Ward. It makes them look bad or whatever. The only thing making this franchise look bad is not the devs. It is this greedy fucking publisher that would rather rig matches to make Billy Goat 57 feel like scump to drain his wallet than just make a good game. Just make a good game. Stop putting free-to-play microtransactions in a $70 to $100 title. It is ridiculous. Anyway, guys, I nearly got a 60 kill game. I was 1 kill off. I do have a few 60 bombs in Dom, which I'll be posting eventually. But I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed the Rockefeller flow, and you can see like what a good map this is, even though it's small. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Everyone have a good one. Peace out.
Some parting advice?